Hello there and welcome back to Painting with Martin. Today we're back with another Inferno painting video. And Inferno is a board game published by Gamers Guild and also Red Mojo in Spain. And it's designed by a guy named Fernando Eduardo Sanchez. Hopefully I pronounced that with my high school Spanish. Now, Inferno is a board game set in 14th century Florence, as well as in the 9 circles of hell, where you will try to guide Dante Alighieri through the perils of hell while encountering things like monsters and sinners and the like. Now, I'm going to leave this one aside, and today we're going to be taking a look and painting a monster or a guardian called Geryon or something like that. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. He is difficult to paint because the card art does not leave much room for interpretation, and at the same time it's very hard to see on the card art what it actually means. But doing some research about it, I found out that he is a statue, and a live statue, and he also comes from Greek mythology, which I will tell you a little bit about as well. So I'm going to put him here on my painting handle by Redgrass Games. Please check out the link for Redgrass Games in the link up here as well. So I'm going to go on over and I'm going to cover the entire statue except for the stone base and the like little critters going around with a combination of mix of colours. And the mix of colours that I've chosen for this miniature are, if I can find them here, yes, a little bit of Celestra Grey from Citadel, Leadbelcher, as well as Mechanicus Standard Grey. And yeah, there is Leadbelcher and Mechanicus Standard Grey is over here. And I've also added quite a lot of glaze medium from Vallejo here to the mix to make sure that the paint doesn't dry as fast as possible. I'm going to use a very large brush for the wings here for this one, like a size like 5 for this one, because it's quite heavy. And I'm going to simply cover the entire wings like this. And you can do the same. There's no point of using a smaller brush for such large work. And you're going over to the other side of the wings as well. Gives it kind of like shiny metallic hue, but it's not too much metallic. It's hard to see how I would paint it otherwise. Just some stone, some Carrick stone would be too light, and some German grey or black would be too dark. So this is the overside of the wings like this, and then of course we've got the paint of the face as well as the side of the wings, as such, like this. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush for the face to make sure that I cover all those details. So now it's time for the face, and I'm also covering this one with the same facial features as this one. Now let me know if you think this is a too heavy-handed approach in the comments, please. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps the channel grow and gain visibility with other people on YouTube as well, as such. Okay, and also going to do his hands in this color as well as his body. As you can see that I'm not painting the underside of the wings in this, and there's a reason for that. And I'm still not decided how to paint the underside of the wings. I have an idea for it, but I'm not yet ready to see how it. I want to see how it looks like first, once I've painted the upper torso and the lower torso as well, to see how dark this mix really is. Another approach would be to paint it in Apothecary white contrast paint to give it a slightly lighter figure, and then dry brush it with metallic, something that's very, very good alternative. Here I'm touching up the wings as well. And touching up the wings here as well, underneath. and also the scales on the back. With this one. And the back of the head, of course. Now, Geryon is a Greek mythology kind of like monster. He was the subject of the 10th labours of Hercules, and in which Hercules was tasked to steal cattle from Geryon's farm, in which he succeeded, but not, of course, without killing Geryon and also his master and dog. So he stole the cattle and killed everything else. Probably wasn't in the job description to do all of that, but when Geryon found out, it was kind of like a no-brainer. It was like a do or die. Don't forget to cover the underside of the arms here. Can be a bit tricky to reach here, the underside, but so you may want to angle the miniature, make sure that you get all these angles correctly underneath here as well. It's a very beautiful model, and unlike Dante Alighieri, which I painted very recently, this one has more complexity than Dante to paint, even though it may seem very easy to paint him like this. Now I'm going to test my approach here by actually painting his tail using Apothecary white, and this is of course a new approach. I have never tried it before, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe it will be too much, maybe it won't be. But I want to make sure here that the scales are actually showing and not covered by the metal too much. And the card art gives me no clue how to do this. Card art is great, but not for painting. So I can say that to Grand Gamers Guild or Red Mojo Games. Would be nice to see more pictures of this model in the game as well, to see how it's painted and but of course I understand not everyone paints their miniatures, so I fully understand their point of view as well. I'm also going to do this and the same thing here. I'm going to cover the legs with this one as well, as such. And behind the legs as well. And there is another leg there. If you got some drops of kind of like the metal mix on the other leg, it's not a problem, because I mean it's a statue. I don't think it's going to care anyways. But don't forget the leg underneath there, like the foot. Make sure everything is covered in paint. And there is going to be a kind of like a transition here between the metal and the grey, which I find quite appealing. That is like quite nice. And as you can see here, the scale is quite nice and showing as well. So now when we've done this one, and we can go around and make sure everything is like covered in paint, we are now going to go next into see if we can paint the underside of the wings. And for the underside of the wings, I've chosen to go for an option of Rakarth flesh to give it more of a leathery feeling. And it's going to be a bit difficult to reach underneath here. And if it mixes with the original color, it's not a problem. It's actually quite nice if it does. And if you avoid it, that's also perfectly fine. I'm angling the miniature here so I can see it. It's going to be hard for you guys to see it, the effect, because it's so subtle. But Rakarth flesh is a nice kind of like stony feeling of this one as well, just to give it another texture, another hue for the painting. And having it on this painting handle from Red Grass Games, it's really nice because you can turn the handle like this, and for the most part it really sticks to the handle as well. As you can see here, it mixes in with the metal color quite well, especially towards the edges, so that's quite nice. I think I made a good decision for it. Also making sure that it's not all pure metal. You can also cover the upper side here as well when I'm doing it now. So with this one done, I'm going to turn my attention to the stone. For the stone, I'm going to opt for a quite light grey. You can opt for a dark grey if you want to, but it's already quite dark, the miniature, as it is. I'm also going to touch up here some of the mistakes I made here using the leftover paint here. The reason why I'm using a retarder might have been a mistake, because now it doesn't dry as fast as I wanted to, is that I thought the miniature would be too large, and I thought it would dry in segments, and then it would be dry there and not wet in the others. Also fixing some mistakes underneath here. I'll see that it's still white from the primer from Vallejo. So I'm going to use some Celestra grey from Citadel for the stone. And I'm using a neat in this case. And I'm trying to avoid the kind of like crawling skeletons and all that around it. Quite beautiful card art. I have quite beautiful miniature, I have to say. There are several critters around here, scorpions and snakes and all of that. And he has a scorpion's kind of like fang in the end, so I think that's why the place is crawling with scorpions. And you can start painting the base with this one as well, while you're at it. And I haven't played Inferno yet, even though I picked it up last year at Essenspiel. You can do so. It's also for sale in this year's Essenspiel at Grand Gamers Guild, as well as at Red Mojo's booth in Essen. So if you're going there, and you want to meet me as well, please do. I'll be there working in collaboration with a company called Woolly Games. So I'll be there all of the fair, and you can also meet me at Meet and Play in Saal Europa, or Europa, I think it's called, on Saturday between 2 and 4, if you want to just chit chat and play some basic games. Okay, as such. This one is not dried yet, and it probably won't be dried in time for this video. But this is a very, very basic way of painting the miniatures. If you want to go and take it one step further, once the metal is dried, you can put some Nuln oil on it, and once the stone here is completely dried, you can put some white on the scorpions, or colour the scorpions in a colour of choice. Black as well would work quite well, and then cover them with Nuln oil. One thing I will do is I will take the fangs of the scorpions and cover them with some Vallejo black. You can also use Abaddon black for this purpose from Citadel. That works perfectly fine. So just to give it a kind of like menacing appearance here. That offsets nicely towards the others. And there you have it. This is Geryon from the Inferno, the board game. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.